Davening at a grave of a great tzaddik during war. I had the privilege a few hours ago to do something I've never done before. Being in Boston, I felt I cannot leave the city without davening at the grave of Haigav Rabba, the Rebbe of all my Rabbeim, Moreinu Rabbeinu, Rav Yosef Dov Halevi Soloveitchik, Zecher Tzadik Livracha. I think everyone listening to this particular podcast know who I'm talking about. I can just say about myself, there isn't a single rabbi that I've quoted more than Rav Soloveitchik, Zecher Tzadik Livracha. And I want to just say three things that I believe everyone has to be careful when they go to a cemetery and daven at a grave of a great man, or at any grave for that matter. Number one, there is an Isser in the Torah called Dorish Alametim, speaking to the dead. You don't go to the grave to talk to the dead, God forbid. You go to talk to God. And of course, saying in the merit of the person buried here, you're asking God for this, that, or the other thing. So standing in front of the grave of Rav Soloveitchik and his wife Tanya, I spoke to God. And I asked God for all the things that we've been davening for the last 2 months. That our soldiers be successful, that the hostages return healthy and well, and that all the wounded get a speedy recovery. But I spoke to God, and I just added in the merit of the person buried here, of Rav Soloveitchik. Number two, I don't think it's enough to daven. I don't think it's enough to go to someone's grave, daven there, and then say, see you next year. If we indeed want the merit of that person to some way or another reflect on us, then we have to continue his teachings in our life. If that doesn't happen, I'm not so sure there's any importance in going ahead and davening at a grave of someone dead. The only way that davening there is a substantial experience is that when you leave the cemetery, you're indeed continuing the teachings and the ideals of that great man. And number three, beyond not talking to the dead, and beyond making sure you continue the ideals above and beyond the cemetery, I believe there's an element of hakarat hatov. Even if there was no war brewing in Israel, if I had nothing to daven for, I don't think that day is about to come. And even if I didn't continue the ideals of this great man, God forbid, I believe there's a little element of showing goodness, of saying thank you to a great man that gave so much Torah to all your Rabbeim, to all your teachers, and of course to Klal Yisrael, wherever they may be. I have to admit it was an emotional experience for me, and I hope and pray that b'zchut Moreinu v'Rabbeinu Rav Yosef Dov and Rav Moshe Halevi Soloveitchik, we indeed will see redemption far sooner than later.